Right now at 6, a school teacher in Oklahoma has her teaching certificate suspended after a federal indictment.
And we have a little bit longer with fog and rain on the forecast.
Plus, new laws in the new year could have an impact on some criminal records in the Show Me state.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6 a.m., I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney, and it is early this morning, Friday morning.
It is early, but I'm happy to be here. I know you're excited to be here too.
I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled. I saw some cows on the drive-in this morning, and that was pretty fun. You don't get that in Memphis.
It's more fun than the rain that I saw on my drive yesterday.
Yes, it is. And the fog, that's kind of scary to drive in, especially, I once drove through the fog and I stopped because it was so dense, and then as I got to the other side, there was like a deer. So you can't see anything, and that's going to continue. We can go ahead and take a look outside. As temperatures do warm up, we're going to see temperatures in the mid to possibly upper 50s later on today, closer to the mid 50s, overcast, and that fog just continues. You can see out in the Joplin area, it is still going to be pretty foggy and misty, which doesn't help those fog conditions either. Temperatures right now, about 48 in Pittsburgh, 49 in Joplin, 50 Miami, Welsh, Oswego, 50 in Neodesha as well. So we're starting to dip down a little bit before we start to warm up for the day. Overnight lows typically hit the lowest around 7 a.m. So we've got another hour of those temperatures dropping. Now, visibility is low. With all week, we've seen pretty dense fog, especially starting Christmas morning and then all the way through this morning and even into tomorrow as well, with visibility, especially on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, down to a quarter-mile visibility and even less. Now it's going to continue to extend out to Missouri as well, although our dense fog advisory cuts off Kansas and Oklahoma. But you can see out in Anderson, Neosho, even getting to the Carl Junction, Joplin area, we're going to see that visibility drop down as well. And because we don't have the sun this morning to kind of burn off some of that fog, it just sticks around for most of the morning. So our dense fog advisory is extended until 12 p.m. today. And again, mostly just for the Kansas and Oklahoma side, because that's where we're seeing the dense fog kind of just sit. But even in our area, in the Joplin area, out to Anderson, Monette, we're still going to see some fog. So just take extra precautions as you're driving in. Now, overcast skies do continue. We're going to see some misty conditions, through the morning, and then maybe a few showers spiking, especially just before noon. You're going to see some of those rain showers. It's going to be a little heavier, drops down, isolated showers for the rest of the afternoon. We have a bit of a lull before our next spike as we head into Saturday. So we do have rain chances kicking off again Saturday. It's going to be our last day before we finally get to see the sun on Sunday, but I'll have a full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Lindsay. The Oklahoma State Board of Education has suspended the teaching certification of a special education instructor who was charged in federal court with child abuse. Jennifer Enyart and her husband, Keith Enyart, were federally indicted on December 16, 2024 on multiple child abuse charges involving their 15-year-old. Those charges include neglect and assault with a dangerous weapon. According to documents, one of the forms of abuse was evidence of taser marks. Any teacher whose certification is suspended has the chance to appeal. That hearing will happen in January. Responders rushed to a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the hospital yesterday morning. Joplin police responded to a report of gunshots near the area of 9th and Sargent in Joplin around 9:20 yesterday morning. On scene, they found a man with a gunshot wound to his lower leg. EMS transported the man with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The JPD says there is no ongoing threat to the area, but they could still use help from the public.
I don't have any information. That'd be neighborhood specific. It's one of those where hopefully if anybody has any information, please call in the Joplin Police Department, 417-623-3131. Again, as investigators work through this case, trying to figure it out. If anybody has information, we greatly appreciate the help.
Investigators are working to determine the circumstances of the shooting. The Missouri Highway Patrol releases its annual Christmas traffic crash report. Troopers reported 3 vehicle fatalities over the holiday. That was out of 65 traffic crashes, 38 traffic injuries, and 17 DWIs. The number reflects a 30-hour counting period from 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve to 11:59 on Christmas night. Last year, troopers reported 3 fatalities during a 78-hour counting period. For comparison, there were no boating crashes or drownings during this year's or last year's Christmas holiday counting period. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. On January 1st, Missouri will update its expungement laws. Expungements are the official sealing of someone's arrest or convictions. Once sealed, those records are unavailable to be seen in background checks. The updated law will allow multiple charges in a single criminal incident to be grouped and expunged as a whole. It also increases the number of crimes that can be sealed in someone's lifetime. For a felony sentence, the waiting period to apply for expungement goes from 7 years to 3, and for misdemeanors, it goes from 3 years to 1. Changes to expungement laws aren't the only law changes Missourians will see in 2025. Minimum wage will increase, and there will be stricter distracted driving laws. Some other laws going into effect on January 1st include a hands-free law. You face a fine starting in the new year, as opposed to only warnings. If you flee an officer during a traffic stop, the new Valentine's law kicks in, making the consequences more severe. And if a driver fails to respond or pay a fine, the court can no longer issue an arrest warrant. That's a look at this morning's top news stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. For the first time, jobless claims held steady, but ongoing unemployment hit a new 3-year high. Plus, severe storms disrupt record-breaking holiday travel, delaying thousands of flights. And Lindsay Gaffney returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Afton, Oklahoma. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Money matters when it comes to making New Year's resolutions. With 2024 nearly in the books, many people are planning their financial future. Wallet Hub has some tips on to get back on track for 2025. They include making a realistic budget and sticking to it. Try putting more savings aside for an emergency fund. Explore ways to get rid of high-interest credit cards, like taking advantage of balance transfers or debt consolidation loans to cut costs. Other ways to cut expenses include repaying 25% of your credit card debt. Try to shop around for sales and use coupons or discounts. Buy in bulk and turn your thermostat down to save on utility bills. First-time filings for unemployment held steady last week, indicating layoff activity remains low. That's according to a report from the U.S. Department of Labor released Thursday. There were an estimated 219,000 initial jobless claims filed during the week, ending December 21st. That's a drop of 1,000 from the week before. However, the number of people receiving ongoing jobless benefits hit a 3-year high, a signal that it's harder for job seekers to find work. The Starbucks strike is expanding to hundreds of stores nationwide. Approximately 5,000 employees at more than 300 stores across 45 states are now on strike over better pay and working conditions. It's considered the largest walkout to hit the coffee giant. The Starbucks Workers United strike, prompted by failed union contract negotiations, started last Friday. Workers United says Starbucks backtracked from prior commitments and is proposing an economic package without wage increases for union baristas and a guarantee of only 1.5% in future years. According to the union, the increase would amount to less than 50 cents an hour for most baristas. A wave of storms is moving across parts of the country, snarling what's set to be a record holiday travel season. Yesterday, thousands of flights were delayed in the U.S., while more than 700 were canceled, according to the website FlightAware. It comes as AAA expects more than 119 million people will hit the roads, skies, and rails from December 21st through New Year's Day. Bradley Blackburn has more from New York's LaGuardia Airport.
Storms and wet weather put a damper on holiday travel for drivers and flyers in Texas Thursday.
Yeah, it's been pretty stressful and we're just trying to get home.
More than 260 flights were canceled at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport yesterday. Another 500 plus flights delayed. The severe weather also spawned tornadoes, including the one blamed for tearing through this Wharton County farm.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've never seen a tornado, and just hurricanes is all we really get down here.
In the Pacific Northwest, heavy snowfall caused temporary road closures and spin-outs.
One person can ruin it for a whole lot of people.
In New York, the Port Authority says more than 5 million travelers are expected to pass through area airports over the holiday season. And while the busiest travel days are already behind us, a big jump in airport traffic is expected now through the new year.
It's a little bit crowded, but I'll get through it.
Several passengers at New York's LaGuardia Airport told us they're prepared for the holiday rush. Some are urging others to make the best out of any travel hiccups.
Delays make great adventures and you never know who you're going to meet.
AAA also advises travelers to know their rights. Federal guidelines now require airlines to give travelers a refund for canceled flights. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Already this morning, dozens of flights have been canceled in the U.S., according to FlightAware. The National Weather Service says more storms are expected to make their way across the country throughout the weekend, dumping more rain and in some places snow. There is one bright spot, however. The National Weather Service also forecasts that many states will see above average temperatures. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Lindsay with a look at your forecast.
Well, a quick deep dive into our weekend forecast as temperatures continue to warm up into the low 60s Saturday. We also see a few more showers still south of I-44 and then a mostly sunny Sunday. Now, foggy start today and another foggy start as we head into Saturday as well. So for the next couple of days, we're still dealing with that drizzle, rain, foggy, overcast conditions, and then finally clearing out on Sunday.
During the busy winter tourist season at ski resorts, there's a team of dogs that hold down important jobs. They help to rescue people and save lives. Brianna Carroll takes us to a Montana resort to show us what makes up the ski patrol.
I'm here at Big Sky Resort with Hank. He is one of 6 avalanche dogs that are an integral part of the ski patrol team here at Big Sky.
Hank loves the snow. He's been working at the resort for about 7 years now. He started working here when he was 6 months old.
Avalanche dogs are typically working breeds, like Hank. He's an Australian cattle dog. They begin training for their role as puppies. And ski patroller Max Erpenbach says much of that training is based around a game, tug of war.
We call it tug as the drug, and they get so hooked on tug of war that they do anything for it.
For the dogs, it starts simple. Trainers tease them with a toy, then run away and hide. And when the dogs find them, they get to play tug of war. Then the game gets more challenging, with trainers hiding in snow caves or holes obstructed by blocks of snow. By the time the dogs reach their final test, the blind search, they've learned to rely on their nose to locate where a person is hidden beneath the snow and tug of war to pull them out.
Our dogs are for people that are not wearing beacons, and they're fast. They can move quickly, They can clear debris pretty quickly.
Per data from the American Avalanche Association, skiers rescued within 15 minutes of being buried in an avalanche have a 92% chance of survival. But after that 15-minute mark, survival chances drop by approximately 3% per minute. Because time is crucial, avalanche dogs with their highly sensitive noses are skiers' best shot of survival in the case of an unwitnessed avalanche or when they don't have a beacon. While avalanche fatalities within ski area bounds are rare in the U.S., dogs like Hank also play a critical role in search and rescue operations in the backcountry. Reporting in Big Sky, Brianna Carroll, NBC Montana.
Those are some very cute rescuers with a very important job. Now here's Lindsay with a quick look at your forecast.
Well, we have overcast skies along with a dense fog continuing for the morning hours. You can see a few showers out near Wichita. Those are going to be moving into our area just before noon today. And you can see that spike of the rain chances we have. Now, tapers off by mid-afternoon, and then we have a bit of a lull before our next round of showers as we head into early Saturday morning, which will continue until later in the afternoon. We'll be back with more after this. Well, it's a pretty dreary start to our Friday, to our weekend. We've had a rainy week all week long, along with some pretty dense fog. Now, the dense fog does continue. We've got an advisory until about noon today out in Kansas and Oklahoma, though the fog does extend all the way into Missouri, so just be mindful of that when you're making your morning commute. Now, outside of the fog, overcast skies do continue. That's another reason why the fog isn't burning off, because we don't have the sunshine to really help with that. Now, overcast skies continue along with a few showers as we head into later morning hours. Now, starting closer to maybe 9 a.m., 10 a.m., we're going to see a few showers, light showers, drizzle. But after 11 a.m., some heavier showers start to move in just temporarily, and temperatures starting to creep up into the mid to upper 50s for our high today. Now you can see that spike just around noon where the rain showers are going straight over Joplin, and then they taper off until the evening. We've got a bit of a lull there in the evening and overnight hours until tomorrow. Now tonight, chances of rain returning are pretty high in the morning. It's going to be about 3 to 4 a.m. So we're going to see another round of showers early tomorrow and then continuing until tomorrow mid-afternoon. Now, temperatures really only dropping down to the upper 40s, and the fog does return again. So we're not quite out of the dreariness of the week just yet until after we get out of it on Saturday. So let's look at our future track. 7:30 in the morning, overcast skies, winds are out of the southwest, and a few showers are going to start to creep in. Now, 10 a.m., mostly showers are still on the Kansas, Oklahoma side, but heavier rain, as you can see, moving in just after noon, and then even maybe some rumbles of thunder before it clears out. Now, 5:30, 6, clouds break up temporarily. The fog returns in the morning along with the overcast skies as well, and then another round of rain showers as we head into Saturday morning. So about 11 a.m., you can see Joplin area just south of Pittsburgh, maybe Girard, south of Parsons. Few showers, and these are going to be pretty light showers. They dissipate, and then the next round coming in just south of I-44, and those showers stay south of I-44 for most of Saturday afternoon, and then they clear out finally, and then we have clouds moving off to the east by Saturday evening, and then better chances of sun returning on Sunday. So amount of rainfall that we've seen though all week long in general, we've gotten these just bouts of drizzle and overcast and just some light sprinkles and showers. So not a lot of accumulation in one sitting, but over the week about an inch to an inch and a half in some areas. And then tonight and tomorrow, we're only seeing another 1/4 of an inch to a 1/10 of an inch. Joplin about a 1/10, Miami about a 1/10, same in Bartlesville, Nowata, but south of I-44, we're getting about a 1/4 of an inch, maybe to up 1/2 an inch. But out in Kansas, little to no accumulation, if any, we're going to see today or tomorrow. Now, temperatures above average all weekend long. Saturday, Sunday, 60 degrees on Saturday. Sunday, only getting it to the upper 50s, about 57, 58, 59. But the sun returns, so it's going to be a beautiful day on Sunday. Saturday, we still have a little bit more of that rain, that drizzle and overcast and the fog to get through before we get to enjoy that Sunday. So looking ahead though, temperatures are also getting into the upper 60s or lower 60s on Monday, but a cold front comes in Monday night into Tuesday morning. might see some showers, and then a significant drop in temperatures as we head into New Year's Eve, with overnight lows dropping down into the 20s, and then that stays like that for the rest of the week. Start of the new year, back into the lower temperatures, right about average, but we'll enjoy those upper 50s and low 60s while we can. Now let's look at your 10-day forecast. Let's go over to Samantha with Health Watch.
Thanks, Lindsay. Topping Health Watch this morning, phenylephrine, a leading decongestant used in Sudafed, Dayquil, and other medications, will likely soon be off the shelves. The FDA is in the process of revoking the drug's use because doctors say it doesn't work. If the FDA issues a final order, companies will likely have a year or more to reformulate their medications. We all know any exercise is better than no exercise, but how many minutes should you work out to lose significant weight? A study published in JAMA suggests the magic number is at least 150 minutes of aerobic exercise per week. Any less, and most people only lose minimal weight. Doctors have found a connection between COVID and worsening liver function. A study published in JAMA found about 30% of people hospitalized for COVID showed signs of kidney damage, though the reasons for the connection aren't fully understood. It's also not yet clear if the damage is long-term. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, many four-staters head back to the stores to return their Christmas gifts.
And we continue with the fog, drizzle, and rain chances as we head into the day.
Plus, some furniture shoppers in Joplin have the Kansas City Chiefs to thank for a refund.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6:30, I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
Oh, it's a nice, beautiful Friday.
Yes, it is Friday now. You were here yesterday, so we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt there.
Thank you.
No, but it is Friday, and it's warm, but kind of just all week it's been dreary, and I mean, even Christmas Day, it was kind of just gross outside.
Yeah, a little bit, but the temperatures are not terrible. If it was cold and all this wet and foggy, I think it'd be a little bit more depressing. But I'm able to deal with it if the temperature's like 50s right now.
I agree. No, I'm right there with you. Now we'll be able to enjoy the sunny skies as we head into the weekend. But for right now, let's go ahead and take a look outside and check out the fog that we have going on. So Joplin, Pittsburgh, you can see the low visibility out in Joplin, and temperatures are starting to dip down through the lower 50s and into the upper 40s. So temperatures across the region, 49 in both Pittsburgh and Joplin, 50 Miami, Oswego, Welsh, 48 in Newada and Grove and Jay. So we're definitely kind of seeing this temperature range, 48 to 50 degrees. And the fog sticks around, less than a quarter-mile visibility out in Kansas and Oklahoma, but that fog extends all the way into the Joplin area as well with low visibility. And this is about 9:30 in the morning. Because we don't have the sun coming out, it's overcast. We don't have the sun to burn off the fog. So it is going to be pretty foggy most of the morning, and then finally clearing off as we head into early afternoon. Now, the fog does return tomorrow, so don't rule it out just yet, but this specific dense fog advisory extends only until about noon today, and it's for Kansas and Oklahoma, not quite in the Missouri side. However, we do have that fog still kind of making its way into Missouri, so don't rule that out. Now, clouds start to push in. You can see some rain showers just outside of the Wichita area, and then they're going to be moving into our area as we head into the rest of the day. So by about noon, you have this spike where we're going to see some pretty nice rain chances in the area, a little bit heavier than what we've been seeing, just that little drizzle, and then they taper off until early Saturday morning. That's where we see our next spike in rain chances, along with still that dense fog. So we're starting Saturday off, dense fog and rain chances, especially south of I-44. Above average temperatures all weekend long into the upper 50s and low 60s, but a mostly sunny Sunday. So I'm looking forward to Sunday, but until then, I'll have a full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Lindsay. The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks replenished their stock of trout at Fern Lake and Gunn Park in Fort Scott yesterday. This follows a recent decision to stock trout during the most popular months, which included December, January, and February. This allows the department to stock fewer trout, but in higher densities. The department explains the need behind restocking Kansas lakes.
It's more of water temperature and oxygen levels. Trout over here, our water tends to get too hot and our oxygen levels are too low in the summertime. So many of our lakes, we can't carry fish over from one year to the next.
Trout season in the Sunflower State runs until March 31st. Christmas is over and hopefully you're excited about what you received, but if not, that's okay. Most folks have the option to return items. According to the National Retail Federation and management company called Happy Returns, retailers expect a return of $890 billion during the 2024 holiday season. That's 15% higher than last year. KOAM's Lonnie Walton stopped by Meadowbrook Mall in Pittsburgh to see what they think is the #1 reason someone might return a gift.
Well, it's always great to go after the holiday is over.
Nathan Hensley is enjoying the day with his family. We thought he was back because he was returning an unwanted gift, but he says he's just getting started.
Yesterday being Christmas, it was such a great time to come today and see what kind of sales are out there.
Many people like sales, but if they don't like what they're getting, the process of fixing it is a problem for some.
Probably the long lines. Probably having to get out and get in line and return it.
Good thing we didn't find any long lines today, but that begs the question, what are some of the reasons people in the 4 states return gifts this holiday season?
Well, I'm a big guy, so usually it's because they don't fit.
And that's what we've been hearing all day.
Mostly that's because of the fact that it doesn't quite fit right, or maybe it's not the color.
It doesn't fit, or if I exchange, it's usually just for a different size.
And we found a few who say they never return gifts.
I have not, no.
Okay.
Not for years upon years.
No, I never really return anything. I'm usually always pretty happy with what I get.
Nope, nothing returning.
And while we were at Meadowbrook Mall, we didn't find anyone returning anything. Well, except one person.
Microwave for my truck, which didn't work, by the way, and we're going to have to take back.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The Better Business Bureau says you should always check or ask about the return policy, and of course, keep those receipts. Some area shoppers scored a touchdown this Christmas holiday. Earlier this month, Wayside Furniture in Joplin issued a giveaway challenge. If the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Day by more than 12 points, customers who bought anything in the store from December 12th through Christmas Eve would get it for free. Yesterday, as you can imagine, customers came to collect.
Well, several times we thought they weren't going to. Like they got 12 points and then they went back and forth.
Well, that's great. I never thought we'd pull it off, but they did. Good team, good team. Andy's done a good job with that team.
I'm happy.
Wayside Furniture has made the same offer 4 other times during the Chiefs' 3 Super Bowl appearances and the first AFC championship with Mahomes. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's Friday, and that means Shannon Becker joins us with his big 3 stories of the week. And dense fog continues. We'll have what to expect with Lindsay Gaffney in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Afton, Oklahoma. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I've been great. How are you?
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Time for live and local, what's happening where you live, our big 3 stories of the week. Here it is, the Tilton & Sons house moving company. Something you don't get to see every day. So when I hear about something like this, I love it. a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, taking a 90-degree turn there. It went from Lamar, it's about 10 miles, Lamar on over to Liberal. They had no issues. You need a house moved. Those are the guys that can do it for you. They're also moving the Pittsburgh, the drag line. The big, you know what I'm talking about. The drag line, they'll move coming up this next year. Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now, Joplin News First. It was a SWAT operation this last week in the Fairview neighborhood. A lot of people were like, oh, what's the Fairview neighborhood? Well, we don't always tell where we are in a SWAT operation because someone inside the house could be watching, and then they could see the officers' positions outside the house. A lot of people don't understand that, but we always refer also to the One Joplin neighborhood map. This man was wanted on multiple felony warrants for theft mostly, but also possession of a weapon. He was taken into custody without incident and a felony probation and parole violation. So that probably means he'll be going back to prison. Our number 1 story, a tragic crash in the Fidelity area south of Carthage. There's a Mercy ambulance rushing a person now charged with DWI felony death of another. She was driving a Hummer and attempted to pass a tractor trailer at high speeds and hit another vehicle head on. The other driver died on the scene there. It was a tragic crash, of course, and it was about 3.5 hours the other day when that happened on Monday. How about our bonus story, though, when you can say nobody got hurt? A very dramatic crash of a UPS truck. I've never seen anything like this into the North Fork of the Spring River. Happened yesterday afternoon in southwest Dade County. The driver's all right, wearing a seatbelt, obviously.
Thank goodness.
Somebody told me that he was a rookie driver, obviously shook up, but it took him a couple hours to get the wreckers out there. Kind of a little remote area. Driver just dropped a couple of tires off the side of the road, and then you overcorrect, and then down into the water. Schrader's Towing, they got that thing out fast. So it was really amazing. Now that's 15 times fast forward, but they did it. I was just like, whoop, and they were done. It was crazy. So that's our big 3 and the bonus this week.
Well, thank you so much. It's always great that when we can see that, when they're wearing seatbelts and there was no fatalities. It makes you feel.
He didn't even go to the hospital.
Well, that's so great to hear.
But his seat was completely underwater, so he was a little wet. But anyway.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Shannon. We'll be right back after this. Well, it's my favorite time of the day and my favorite part of the morning. We have some birthdays to celebrate. We have Wyland Herlocker. She's turning 14 in Girard, Kansas.
And next we have Nolan Sparks turning 14 as well in Baxter Springs, Kansas.
We have another big birthday. Jocelyn Goff is turning 17. Happy birthday, Jocelyn.
Ricky Edwards turning 24 today out in Frontenac. Message says love mom and family.
Sally Davis is also celebrating. She's turning 46 in Columbus, Kansas.
Cheryl Coaster is turning 78 in Chanute, Kansas.
And then Wavell Yeager is turning 85 in Columbus, Kansas. Happy birthday.
Sue Johnson turning 90 today. Amazing. Happy birthday, Sue.
Then we have a double birthday, an anniversary. Jared and Laurel Earl are celebrating their 11th anniversary in Jasper, Missouri.
And another anniversary, Clyde and Jenny Stalling with their 47th year anniversary out in Joplin, Missouri. Congratulations, you two.
Then Todd Layson, he's in Columbus, Kansas, is celebrating his birthday. That's from your family and church family.
And a big birthday out in Chanute, Kansas for Becky Manley. Happy birthday, Becky.
Roger Hines is also celebrating. Happy birthday, Roger.
Galen Higgins having a birthday today as well.
And we also have Norman and Treva Scott celebrating their 70th anniversary. Congratulations to them.
And finally, another birthday, Gloria Goobzer out in Carthage, Missouri.
Ben Draker is also celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, Ben. So we want to be able to continue celebrating those birthdays with you, so be sure you can submit any birthdays or anniversaries so we can celebrate with you here on the KOAM Morning News. You can send those to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Pay attention to those deadlines though on your screen to make sure that we can get them on in time for you.
Well, taking a look outside downtown Pittsburgh, still overcast, still a little drizzle, and you can see the roads are kind of wet as well. Now, fog, is it going to be an issue? We've got a dense fog advisory continuing until about noon today out in Kansas and Oklahoma, though the fog extends all the way out into Missouri as well. So when you're planning on heading into work or just starting your day at all, fog is going to be a pretty big issue today with that dense fog. Now, clouds start to move in. We're having overcast conditions like we've seen pretty much all week. We haven't seen the sun in a few days, and today is no exception. Showers start a little bit earlier in the morning, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and then we have a spike in rain 11 to noon. Temperatures are going to be warming up into the lower 50s as we head into about noon on later on today. Now, we see that spike where we're going to have the heavy rain. Now, this is going straight through Joplin. However, we're still seeing more rain chances continuing until about 6-7 p.m. and then they taper off until tomorrow morning. We have another round of rain coming in early in the morning, so we have some scattered shower chances, mostly south of I-44, and then the fog returns as well with an easterly breeze and temperatures only dropping down to the upper 40s. So it's really, we're not cooling down much. We're still seeing that overcast and we're still seeing that drizzle and that fog. It is going to be continuing to be dreary all the way through tomorrow. So let's look at the future track. 8 a.m. overcast skies, temperatures starting to warm back up. Few showers start to kick off. You can see Pittsburgh, Girard, Chanute area, Joplin area, Parsons, Yates Center. A few showers starting as early as 10 a.m. The heavier showers and rain starting early afternoon, then continuing to push on out of the area, and then we're back to partly cloudy skies later on this evening around 5:30 p.m. So we might be able to see a little sunlight before the sun sets, and then more overcast skies move in as we head into tomorrow. Now again, we're starting the morning off with a bit of fog as well on top of the overcast skies. Showers push in, light showers as early as 11 a.m., but some heavier showers start to push in south of I-44 in the early afternoon on Saturday. Those are going to continue again, staying mostly contained to south of I-44 and then clearing out, and then we're back to mostly sunny skies later on in the afternoon on Saturday and into Sunday. Now, amount of rainfall, not a lot. All week long, we've seen just these periods of getting this drizzle and these sprinkles and light showers. So at a time, we've only seen about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch dropping in one sitting, but all week long we've got about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Now, doesn't really change much as we head into tonight and tomorrow. About 1/10 of an inch in Joplin, Miami, Nowata, Bartlesville, all the way up to Nevada, Stockton, Greenfield, and 1/4 of an inch, Lamar, Carthage, and then definitely south of I-44, where we are seeing those rain chances kind of going back over that area. Now, temperatures for the weekend getting into the upper 60s, low 50s, so it is going to be above average. Normally, we're seeing highs in the lower 40s and lows in the 20s and 30s. So we're definitely having about a 20-degree temperature warm above average. And then we even have a few more scattered showers south of I-44, again continuing Saturday morning. Now Sunday, the sun returns, so it is going to be much nicer on Sunday. I know I'm looking forward to it, especially with these temperatures being what they are. And then by Monday, still upper 60s. So we have another bit of a warmer day Monday. Scattered shower chances continue late Monday in the afternoon as a cold front passes, clearing out pretty early Tuesday, but you might still see some early in the morning. But the rest of the day on Tuesday, we're going to clear out, so you're going to have a sunny New Year's Eve and a clear sky New Year's Eve night, but temperatures are much cooler, only in the upper 40s for our high, and overnight lows New Year's Eve night heading into New Year's Day in the upper 20s. So it is going to be very cold. Don't forget to bundle up when you're making your New Year's Eve plans. And then on Wednesday and continuing through the week, temperatures will drop down into the lower 40s and 30s Thursday and Friday. So we're seeing these temperatures actually return back to what they should be this time of year following the new year. But until then, I'm going to enjoy the nicer, warmer temperatures, even though we're still dealing with a little bit of rain and overcast. But let's look at your forecast. Coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches on over to Fox 14, a theater in Washington, D.C. is providing a creative outlook for kids in foster care.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Oklahoma State Board of Education has suspended the teaching certification of a special education instructor, Jennifer Enyart. Enyart and her husband, Keith Enyart, were federally indicted on December 16, 2024 on multiple child abuse charges involving their 15-year-old. Enyart has a chance to appeal her teaching suspension in January. Joplin's first responders rushed a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the hospital yesterday morning. Police responded to a report of a gunshot near the area of 9th and Sargent around 9:20 yesterday morning. On scene, they found a man with a gunshot wound to his lower leg. The JPD says there is no ongoing threat to the area, but they could still use help from the public. Several new laws are going into effect in Missouri on January 1st, including a hands-free law where you will face a fine as opposed to only warnings. If you flee an officer during a traffic stop, the new Valentine's Law kicks in, making the consequences more severe. And if a driver fails to respond or pay a fine, the court can no longer issue an arrest warrant. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And taking a look at your 10-day forecast, we have fog continuing, dense fog advisory until noon today, along with a few more scattered shower chances later on this morning and into early afternoon. And then we have another round of rain showers continuing on Saturday. Now temperatures are warming up. We finally see the sun on Sunday, and then we start out New Year's Eve pretty cold, and then we're back into normal temperatures following New Year's Day.
You know, I'm kind of excited to see some of these colder temperatures. You know, I'm ready to break out some sweaters and it feel like December and January.
I am too, but I want some snow. I'm okay with the cold if we have snow.
Snow, but no ice.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I'm from the South. All we get is ice. So I'm used to that, but I would definitely love to see a good couple of inches of snow and, you know, go out and play. I'm okay with freezing temperatures if I get to enjoy the snow.
Exactly. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making meatball calzones in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, new laws in the new year could have an impact on some criminal records in the Show Me State.
Plus, Shannon Becker joins us back in the studio to talk about his big 3 news stories of the week. But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.